I really enjoyed hot towels. And then fast forward many, many, many years later, I struggled with skincare as a teenager with some pretty bad acne, and it really affected my confidence.
Welcome back to another episode of Make It Count. I'm your host, Michelle Latocha, and today my guest is Leah Fortune from Gratitude Skincare.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. Hello.
So nice to have you in the hot seat.
Thanks for having me.
How do you feel?
I feel good. I'm excited to chat with you and interested to see what questions you're going to ask me.
Everyone's always worried that I'm going to throw them off. That's the one question I get all the time is, can you send me the questions beforehand? And I'm always like, no, let's just have a conversation. Like you're coming over for coffee.
Yeah.
I love it to be authentic, right?
Yeah.
So you are the owner of Gratitude Skincare.
Yes.
And this is a spa in St. Catharines. So where are you located?
So we are located 20 Lake Street, just across the street from Montebello Park, where all the squirrels hang out. And yeah, I've been at that location for about since COVID now. So it's a beautiful, quiet building, and yeah, I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Before we get started and talk about your business, tell us a bit about yourself and like how you kind of got into skincare.
Yeah. I have a memory of when I was younger of, I don't know why I did this, but I thought I'm going to put shampoo on a washcloth. And then I'm going to just put that on my face and put that on my friends' faces. Didn't really know what I was doing. I put toothpaste like as a mask. I probably saw something from TV. And I really enjoyed hot towels. And then fast forward many, many, many years later, I struggled with skincare as a teenager with some pretty bad acne, and it really affected my confidence. And so I was interested in skincare, but of course tried everything and everything. Or anything and everything. And I definitely didn't know what I was doing, but was curious. Mm-hmm. And then years later, I went to school a little bit later in life. Shout out Niagara College, aesthetics program. And I always knew I wanted to have my own thing. And when you go to school for aesthetics, you always, you dabble and learn everything. Yeah. And I knew right off the hop, being in the classes, that I wanted to niche myself down into skincare, because that was like the thing that really like lit my beauty biz soul, I guess, right? So yeah, and then that's kind of how I started. So always like interested in that. And then I love caring for others and creating an experience for people. And of course, when you're an esthetician, any esthetician you ask, they love how you make people feel. Yeah. So
that's awesome. And I can attest to that because I have been to your spa and your facial is so unique.
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? Like you really put the onus and attention on the client and what they would like to expect of a facial. It wasn't just like, this is what I'm doing, even though it probably would have been amazing, but you gave accountability to the client to say, hey, listen, like, do you want these smells? Do you want this? How do you like it? And that, I think, added to an amazing experience.
Thank you. Yeah, we really... I found something that was missing at a lot of spas. There's a lot of great spas out there, but I found the experience part or the bespoke part of it was never tailored or individualized. It was kind of, I've worked at spas where it's like, here is a box that is a hydrating facial. Put it on this client. And yes, it was a great experience, but there's so many pieces that I found were missing to really make it for that client. And I was like, when I do my own thing, I want to know like how they're feeling emotionally. There's a form that people fill out, whatever they feel comfortable sharing with me, what type of essential oils, like, do you want a weighted blanket? What's the temperature of your body right now? Like all this cool stuff that just is part of the whole experience. Yeah.
What made you choose the name Gratitude?
So I remember that the movie The Secret, and it was always about like attitude of gratitude, and I always loved that. And a shorter, I guess, version of that is I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer many, many years ago. And the way that it was found out and the way that it was found was really kind of by happenstance and wasn't something that I was looking into. And I was very fortunate and to just have to have a surgery. And then I was cancer free. And I actually have a tattoo on my wrist. It's in script. It says, be grateful. So I was very grateful for that. And then so there's like different elements of that. There's like my personal story. I didn't invent gratitude, but it really resonated with me because when you are grateful for even just little things, like it doesn't like fix your life and be like, oh, everything's positive, but it just really helps shift your focus to kind of sit in gratitude. So naturally for me, I'm like, well, that's what my spa is going to be.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's such a, and you know, I just like, you know, your perspective on life is just so positive. And I think it just takes a special person to kind of take adversity and like flip the coin.
I agree.
And I think that's what you've done.
Yeah.
And even through your services, I think like even just your aura is just really just positive and you have great frequency. So that's awesome.
Thanks. We're on the same vibe.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I'm like totally right. You get attracted to the same vibe and frequency.
Yeah.
So what would you say are, you know, your more special services? 'Cause I know you just do more than skincare there at your spa.
Yeah.
What are some other services that you offer?
So definitely facials are something that I'm in the facial room 95% of the time. But our other services that we offer really nice pedicures too. They're private pedicures in the sense that you're not sitting in a line with like maybe 10 other people.
Yeah.
It's a very like private, intimate experience and they're very detailed. Same thing, like we will ask you, is there anything you want taken care of on your feet today? Is there anything about a pedicure you don't like? Experiencing any pain in your feet? Stuff like that. So offering really good pedicures is something we do a lot of. And then body scrubs. A lot of times people don't know what a body scrub is.
So tell us.
So a body scrub is essentially like a facial for your body. If you've ever had a massage before, there's massage elements. It's very aromatic depending on like the scent that you want. So generally like a full sugar body scrub with like aromatic heated hot towels. And then there is a shea butter massage application afterwards. So you're getting like a really good exfoliation. And then you're restoring and soothing the skin with a nice massage afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
heavenly.
It's beautiful. Yeah, our girl Tamika that works with us, she does a lot of those. And yeah, that's.
Are there different seasons that you should be getting, let's say, a body scrub or a facial?
Yeah. So I would say, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you.
Well, let's leave that in there. So yeah, a facial generally, depending on what you're wanting to address, our clients are coming to us every like 4 to 6 weeks. And for body treatments, we don't really have a lot of clients who get a body scrub once a month. It's more like you said, like reaching seasonally for it, like 2 or 3, 4 times a year, just to really, especially your back, getting that area. Pedicure is pretty consistent, especially like in the summer, like our feet are exposed. So you're going to want to be more consistent that way. But you know, our clients, sometimes they come monthly, sometimes they come 2 times a year and we welcome them whenever they're ready. Yeah.
So you touched upon adolescent, right? And I struggle with acne too, and I think it's obviously hormone changes. But what's the age you think that you should really start paying attention to your skin, or do you feel like there needs to be more education on how we take care of our skin early on? Because there's just so much going on out there that you don't really know. Like, right? Let's just say you have breakouts. It's like, oh, do I have oily skin? But do I have oily skin? That's what I learned from your facial, is that it's not so much you have oily skin. Yeah. You're not hydrating enough.
Yes, I know. Right? So that's true. So really just like the facial that you would have or the facial that maybe your friend would have, even if you're the same age, things might be a little bit different. So in terms of going back to when you should start skincare, everybody is different, but generally, a little bit before like puberty starts and all the hormones start, your needs maybe when you're 13 as opposed to like your child when they're 13. again, it's going to be a little bit different, but really simplicity across the board of just cleansing, picking like a really good cleanser. And if you could start that way, just like cleanser, a moisturizer, and of course like an SPF. There's a lot of like younger girls going to Sephora and like loving all the anti-aging, like the Drunk Elephant, and that's a great line. Is it for 11-year-olds? Probably not.
Right.
But I love that there's an interest in skincare when they're that young, but you can keep it super simple.
Okay.
Super simple when you're young, or a super simple routine when you're older is still awesome. It's really just about using the right products.
Yeah.
Because if you're kind of just picking random things and hoping that it will work, you're probably missing out.
And I think that's like my next question. Like, what's the most common mistake that people make with skincare?
I would say listening to, we love our friends and family, and we listen to their advice for many things, but what works best for your friend isn't necessarily going to work best for you. So really just listening to outside sources that aren't you. So I could tell you need this, but you also know your skin.
Yeah.
Like, I can assess your skin and analyze it, but like you can, if you get quiet and get intuitive with yourself, like what feels good and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And just kind of quieting all the noise, all the marketing, and having a goal and a direction, and seeing someone like myself or a professional to guide you with that. And knowing why you're using what you're using. Like, you'd be like, oh, I'm using a vitamin C serum. I don't know. I just saw it.
Totally that. Like,
yeah.
I'm so with you there. Because, like, you'll hear someone say, like, oh, like, I'm putting vitamin C or hydrochloric acid.
Hyaluronic.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, hydrochloric acid. I don't know if that's right. And it's just so much noise out there that, you see all those memes like, okay, if you wore these shoes, back when you were 20, it's time for skincare. But it's just like, I don't know if I was educated enough to know what to put on my face. And sometimes like fear of, using the wrong product.
Yeah. And it happens a lot. We want to feel confident in what we're doing in anything, whether it's I'm on a nutrition plan, I want to feel confident with what I'm eating, vitamins, all that stuff. So having a direction, keeping it simple, and knowing what type of results a product should do and why, and having a path and empowers you to want to keep with it and know what you're doing, as opposed to just blindly guessing.
Yeah. I love that. And knowledge is power. You're right. It's like teach me. Like, I love to learn. It's like, that's what I love when I go to you. It's like, I know exactly what I need to do. And I've been adopting what you've told me even a year.
Good. Yeah.
It's time to go and upgrade again and get, but you're right. Like, I think it's important to know that your skin can change, like, from year to year.
Yeah, it can.
I think I hit 40. My skin is like, girl, it's not the same anymore. So what you've been doing the last 10 years is not working.
It's very true. And like, even that's why when our clients are coming like monthly for facials, the facial that you have, Michelle, maybe 1 month, and what we do next month, there's lots of components that are going to be the same, but there's so many different modalities and things that are going to be different, because I'm like, okay, how is Michelle's skin today? What is something that's bothering her about her skin, or what does she want to work on? What do I see? And it really, like, I don't know what I'm going to do until I see you, or until I see your client, because I'm like, I wish there was like a little bubble in my head that you could see of like all the different equations and things that I'm going to do, because I don't know until I see you. So it really is customized, and it changes. We're human. Sometimes we can do everything right. I don't have perfect skin by any stretch, and I break out still. I have wrinkles, I have sun damage, but we're humans.
Yeah.
And the goal is not perfection, it's just healthy, glowing skin. And that could be...
I would say your skin looks amazing. It's always looking
thank you.
dewy.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank
It
you.
looks so supple.
Thanks.
Right? Like, I always, like, it's like, when you see someone, you either like look at their shoes, but I'm always like admiring people's skin. And right? I'm always like, hey, like, you know what? That's one thing that I would aspire to, is that when I, age a little bit more, I want to be able to like walk out of the house and just feel good about what's on my skin.
Yep. one thing I notice a lot is just like if you're a hairdresser, I'm not, but like you'll go out and you look at people's hair,
Right.
or whatever industry you're in, you're going to just kind of, see what people are doing. And I notice like if I'm at Winners, I'm not judging. It's just something that I see is that so many people are dehydrated. You're under those neon lights and like, I could just see the dullness and the dehydration, and I just want to be like with our toner and just.
Could you imagine? You should do that, videotape yourself on the street. You'd be like, shh. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm like, trust me, toner.
You would go viral. That would be so funny.
I'm like, come here. So, next time you're out somewhere, like at a retail store, and you're looking at yourself under those lights. Of course, it's not the best lighting, like a podcast lighting, but like. You can see and feel how dull and dry a lot of people are, and it can be easily fixed. It could be simplistic with the skincare, but yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's play a little game called Myth or Must.
Okay.
I'll ask you these questions, and you tell me if it's a myth or definitely a must.
Okay, I like this.
So using ice rollers for puffy skin. Like, those like, I don't know, quartz?
Jade rollers.
Okay, see, I'm not.
Yeah, so those are a complementary thing to do to the skin.
Okay.
So I would say it's a must if you want to bring down inflammation. Cold is your friend in terms of puffiness, but you can take down puffiness without buying a tool as well. It's just cold water. Okay. We're not putting ice on the face necessarily, but if
I've
you
seen those people like dunk their heads in ice bowls.
You could do that for a little bit, but it's all about like more of a gentle approach. Okay. It's almost like, okay, after Michelle, like say you wake up and you're just like, oh, I feel like puffy. And literally after you've washed your face, you're probably going to use warm water. Then turn it on really cold and just splash for like 20, 30 seconds. Okay. The coldness really, whether it's in a roller or like a facial tool, the coldness is really what's doing it. Oh. It's just if you like a roller, do it. I gravitate towards like whatever I feel like. A lot of times I'm like, the water's there. I'm just using cold water. Yeah. Yeah.
I love how it's so simple.
It can be. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Drinking collagen makes your skin glow.
Okay. So with that, I would say it's not a myth, but from my research and understanding, there's not a lot of like collagen when we drink it. It is good for our joints, our digestive, like our organs and our blood and all that stuff. It's a very complimentary thing to do. When you eat collagen, and if anybody would like to share what their thought about this, but when you eat it, you're not necessarily, you're not creating more of it. It's there's not a lot of studies that show that it actually is going to your skin. Okay. It's kind of like when you're dehydrated and you drink water, the last thing it's going to get to is your skin. But just because there's so many like skin collagen drinks out there, I don't drink them. But I think it's just because it's not fully studied or researched doesn't mean doesn't work. It's just there's not a lot of like concrete evidence. You're not going to hurt yourself. You're definitely drinking a collagen drink is going to help other ways internally. Yeah. Whether it reaches your skin and nails, it's not fully proven, but could you do it anyways? Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Expensive products are always better.
No.
So like what do you look for in a product? And I know you have a great line as well, but let's just say you want to purchase a product. Like, what are the things that should not be in the product? Maybe.
So that I could talk for like
another
ever about. Yeah, this could be like a million hours, but I'll keep it short. Is that you don't need like taking the esthetician out of it and just say you're a general consumer. It's all about what your values are. Like if you're like, I want a vegan product, I want a clean product. I could talk for hours about like the clean beauty movement. Sorry, I just hit your microphone. Hopefully.
That's okay.
And so you want to look for pretty much like a brand that mimics and has the values that you want. Now, if you don't know if you're not sure what that is, it's more like, okay, you could look at price point, but it's really all about formulation. So there's a lot of scary news out there about clean beauty products, but it's really like, if you look at the results, if you look at the studies, these products are formulated and they are safe, right? It's all about, but if you believe I don't want this product because there's this, then don't use it. So it's all about formulation. That hands down, if you took marketing and all the little blurbs it says on the bottle, it only matters what's inside, right?
It's true, right? Like, it's like a health claim. Like,
yes.
It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Take away all those marketing gimmicks and, who's promoting it. Yeah. And what's the ingredients, right?
Yeah. So I guess a good tip would be, sometimes you can look at I go to Winners a lot and I look at their skincare. It's fun.
Yeah.
And, I'll see a brand that says like, it'll say vitamin C serum.
Yeah.
And then I just like to look at the back. And sometimes vitamin C can be in the formulation at the very bottom strictly as a preservative. Because it can be a preservative. So it's not actually doing anything. There's no efficacy in it.
Wow. But
they said, hey, there's vitamin C in it.
Oh, man.
So it can be kind of misleading. Obviously, you don't need to spend like $300 on an eye cream, but you also don't want to be going to the dollar store, if you can, to kind of just putting on kind of like more formulations that aren't the best. It's like finding that middle ground. You don't need to spend a lot of money, but you just need to have an idea what the formulation is. And then if you don't want to do any of that, just come see me.
Exactly. I think that's the best bet. Like, just you can educate, others, because I think that's what it is. It's like, I wouldn't know. Like what you just said, I would be like, oh, great, vitamin C. Someone told me I need vitamin C serum. Yeah. And then I wouldn't even think, like, I want clean ingredients, but then it's hard to know what to trust. And, so it's best just to go, I guess, with a professional.
Yeah.
Skipping moisturizer if you have oily skin.
That is definitely a myth. So there's so many different, we need hydration. We need, in the form of water, in the form of like lipids and oils. Any skin needs hydration. And it's just about picking the right moisturizer. There's heavier ones. There's different viscosities and ingredients and different types of like oils in there. Some are non-comedogenic. So it's really just picking the right one. But your skin absolutely needs moisturizer. Okay. Because if you don't, you'll get more oily.
You did this as a kid. DIY face mask with kitchen ingredients.
Yeah. So another funny thing I remember watching when I was a teenager, I had pretty bad acne in my opinion, and I remember watching The View, and one of the talk show, and one of the ladies was like, "Oh, you should put a slice of potato on over top of a pimple." So I was like, "Ooh!" So like I like peeled a potato and like put it all over my face. Of course, it didn't do anything, but yeah.
It's so funny because I have been seeing videos, right? Like you look at one video for longer than 7 seconds on any social media app, and then now you see like 5,000 videos of the same. It was a girl taking a banana peel and rubbing the inside of the peel on top of her face. Okay. And it just said like, this is an ancient Asian hack for supple and like tight skin. And I was like, okay. No, I thought about it, but then I haven't done it yet. So
we could take those bananas that are in our freezer and just like
that went to die. The best part is that you buy bananas. I was like, oh, I want bananas. You buy bananas and no one eats them. And then you don't have bananas. Like, oh, do we have bananas? And I'm like, I just bought bananas and put them in the freezer. Like, I literally put them there to die.
Shout out to the 12 bananas that are in my freezer right now, definitely. But going back to like a real, like if you were to put like, let's say whatever ingredient is in banana that's helpful for the skin, if you just put it on top of your face, there's some things like Manuka honey, things like Kaleido oatmeal, things like that do have an effect, but there needs to be some type of formulation involved in order,
like an activator.
Yes, in order for it to actually penetrate, as opposed to just sitting on top. Yeah. So DIY stuff and like getting curious about like natural things is good, but putting like a slice of potato on the skin is not there's whatever was in the potato that they said it's not going to actually get in there. It needs to be broken down and formulated properly.
Yeah,
so yeah.
Trust me, I used to do fun things like that. Like also put toothpaste all over my face.
Yes.
But no. Okay. Self-care speed round. Okay. So best way to de-stress after a long day is
being intentional with your skincare, doing it as soon as you get in the door. If you're done for the day, do your routine because you'll be too tired later on.
Okay.
Yes.
My go-to skincare product that you cannot live without.
That is our Mist Me Toner.
I've seen you post this.
I love it.
Like, FOMO, I want
it. I love it. And again, that's when I was talking about going and spraying everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that one day. But yes, the toner, absolutely hands down. If I was on a desert island, that would be my guy.
Oh my God, that's so funny. So a wellness practice that you swear by.
Just being intentional and consistent with my skincare and getting a moment for me. It doesn't have to be a big meditative practice, but just setting myself up to have my skincare at home.
And I feel like it's a ritual. Like,
yes, that's
when I
the
used
word.
to swim, someone said to me, because I was like always, high intensity fitness and teaching. And when I was in the water, I felt like it was very meditative. And someone said to me, yeah, that's like a walking meditation for you. And I'm like, oh, like I'm a water sign. Maybe that's why I just feel so like lovely in the water. And I feel like skincare could be like that. It is a moment in the rituals that you have for yourself.
Absolutely.
And it's very therapeutic.
Yep.
Like, I will, I'll be honest, I don't do it every night because of, parenting life. But when I do, I just feel, oh my gosh, like this is it's like the action of like going through the steps. And it just feels like this is a moment. I think when we think of wellness, we think meditation, movement, but skincare is also self-practice of self-love.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's almost like the nights where you fall asleep and then like you don't do your skincare, then you wake up the next day and then you might just be like, there's always a little bit that you're probably just like, oh, it doesn't feel great. But how good does it feel when you wake up the next day and you like know that you treated yourself kindly and you bring that with you throughout the rest of the day, and it encourages you to use it. If you fall off the skincare wagon, like we can't all be perfect like me, you can just get right back on it. It's it ebbs and flows, but I do have a sign above our checkout desk at our spa that says "Wash your face." So 2 times a day, baby. Wash your face. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I struggle with it before bed, but I'm gonna get better.
Yeah. Try it when you get home. Even if it's 4 o'clock.
I like that because you know me. I like I fall asleep by 8:39.
Yeah.
Like, that's just hard.
That's fine. If you know you're done for the day, if you're like, I'm not going anywhere while cooking dinner, wash your face.
Okay. And like, I know you said like not hot water. Okay. Like even in the shower, I've known like, okay, Michelle, don't use scalding hot water. But like, how bad is that for your face?
Well, I mean, if you have like rosacea, of course, anything super hot's never going to be your friend. I take hot showers. Like it's all your tolerance level. You just want to make sure that you are reaching for like your hydrators, your moisturizers, your serums, because I love a hot shower. I love a hot bath. But as long as we're treating our skin nicely afterwards and restoring it, there's nothing wrong with it.
And are you supposed to pat your skin dry or leave some wetness before you put your moisturizer on?
So it depends. If you want to, say if you don't have a toner, which everybody should, if you don't have a toner, so after you wash your face, you could leave your face a little bit wet to then go in with your moisturizer, simply for the fact that it's going to spread a little bit easier, but you don't have to.
Okay.
If I like doing that more with like a toner because it does change your pH level, it balances it, so it prepares your skin for the rest of your treatment. But I guess if I didn't have a toner, I'd probably still dry my face and just put on a moisturizer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The most underrated skincare tip, I know you're probably going to say is
like wash your face. Yes, because 50% of your skincare routine is your cleanser. I've helped clients clear their skin simply by changing their cleanser. Wow. It's like if we're using the wrong shampoo, all our nice after treatments, it's not going to do the same thing as if you give yourself a good foundation, right? So, like foaming cleansers, milky cleansers, double cleansing, oil cleansing, which one is for you? And that's where we come into. But simply 2 times a day, you change your cleanser, change your life.
Oh, this is empowering. I'm doing it. Okay. If you had a spa day just for you, after taking care of everyone else, you're like, nope, what would you start with?
I would have a full body massage. And I would have my feet, like reflexology on my feet. Ooh. And then I would have like a scalp massage. And yeah, that's what I would do.
My husband is like just always asking for a scalp massage, which brings me to my next question. Yeah. Do you see men?
Yes. I would say like 70% of our clientele are women, but we definitely welcome gentlemen into our spa, and they need love too. Yeah. And I notice there's a little bit of shyness sometimes with our gentlemen clients. They don't know what to expect. Usually they come in from their partners, and then they're kind of like, or used to the space a little bit, but they fall asleep. I would say they actually settle into the experience a little bit easier than women, because I think sometimes there's a tendency where not all the time, but we can't turn off our brain. Yeah. But totally. I find that, at least in our experience, our gentlemen clients are like, they're out, they're going to sleep, and they are enjoying every minute of it. But sometimes, not necessarily gender specific, but sometimes like women take a little bit longer to get into it. Right. Okay. Yeah.
So tell our viewers, do you have any wellness clubs or memberships happening at your spa?
So we have I call it a cult. I kind of jokingly call it a cult. So it's our gratitude facial club. Okay. And it's a monthly service that you would come in, Michelle, for a monthly facial at a discounted rate. Okay. There's so many cool perks with being a facial cult member. You get 10% off all of our products. You get priority booking. There is a little special treat that happens after every single visit, every single month, whether that's an extension of a service, a little product. So it's always like, I wonder what I'm going to get this month. And that's super fun for us to curate for our clients. And then there's going to be some member only further discounts and events happening too. So, yeah.
So yeah, we'll link everything. So this is on your website?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. As we wrap up, I know we touched upon it at the beginning, but how do you personally practice gratitude in your daily life?
I have a gratitude journal that I use. I make it a goal sometimes where I'm like, I'm going to use it more. So even if, like the other day, I was sitting in my office and it just hit me that, the place where we live, the car that I drive, the food that I eat, the trips that I take, being able to pay my rent, my bills, it all comes from my business being successful and people trusting us to take care of them. And it just really hit me that without our clients trusting us, that I wouldn't have that. Yeah. So like just sitting in that gratitude of being like, wow, like I've always been able to pay my rent as a business owner, and like it's just something that seems simplistic, but it's like it's and make a profit, and it's been wild and awesome. So I guess practicing writing in the journal, and sometimes it just these insights that just come.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think you hit it on the nail. It's not so much you have to write it down all the time, which is great. And I have a gratitude journal, but just what you said, your attitude of gratitude, how you look at life is really what comes to you. Yeah. I definitely believe in karma and in the energy and frequency. And I think that you're living and breathing every day, which is amazing to see.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being my guest. I cannot wait for my next facial. Yeah. I think that that's probably the number one service that I would rate like the best.
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I have been to multiple places and they've been great, but you had such a unique approach to it.
Thank you.
I need to be more consistent of carving time out for myself. Yeah. That's my guiltiness.
But you should be a cult member.
Yeah, I know I should. I think my husband wants to be a cult member. We're going to post all Leah's links to her gratitude spa. Please follow along. It was amazing to have you as our guest. And thank you so much for joining in. Until next time, wash your face.